I'm going over 15 beginner tips and tricks to help you get better at the game. Also be sure to subscribe because it helps a ton. The first one is constantly tilting. Most of the time, the easiest way to get a hard spike is by not tilting at all. And I see a ton of beginners make the mistake of tilting backwards to reach for a ball and hitting it out, or tilting forwards when the ball is at the back of the court, which will always result in a too low. Make sure to only ever tilt forward when you're close to the net, only tilt back if you have a really weak spike character, and only tilt side to side when reaching for the ball or trying to go for like an angle around the block. Other than that, most of the time you shouldn't be tilting at all, and instead just aim your character where you want the spike to kind of go. The second tip / mistake you're making is blocking too much and just giving the other team back the possession. If you just jump and click the set button as an improvised block instead of actually clicking the block button, the jump set acts as a block. But instead, when you jump set for a block, your team gets back the possession when they hit it into you, because you're technically setting, and this is just a much better substitute than just blocking, because again, if they hit it into you, you get the ball back because you're technically setting right now. The only thing with this is, since you are technically in a set stance, you need to make sure you aren't tilting when you do this, or else when they hit it into your block or your set, when you're defending, you'll like push it whichever way you're tilting and usually cause it to be out. So when you do go to do this, don't tilt in either direction, just jump and click the set button as a block. Third is a tip on settings. To get directional sets, jump and tilt in the direction, then click the set button. To get the highest set possible for you, just click E while staying on the ground, and to get a perfectly straight up set, dive onto the ball, which will just cause it to pop straight up. Those are 3 different types of sets you can use, and pretty much the core ones that you'll always be using. For the fourth tip, it's playing Libero a little better. You can either 1, cover the angle not covered by the blockers. So if the blockers are covering the straight, you could cover like the tight angle. Or 2, you could just watch the spikers to see the direction he's going in and get ready to receive. Also, if you know the spikers are really hard hitters like Sanu, Bokuto, Ushishima, it might also be a good idea to pre-receive the ball, because the spikes like Sanu's can be very hard to react to after it's been hit. So right as you know he's about to go to hit it, maybe click E a second before, and then just move into the spot that it's going to go. For my 5th tip, it's actually keybinds. Here's my personal keybinds if you want to take a look, but I'd heavily suggest making your set and jump set at least the same button, because this is something that personally threw me off so much at the start, and it was so nice when I changed it, because it's so weird that you set is one button and then your jump set was a different button. I think you should make those the same button, but you can take a peek at your keybinds. I changed a few of mine to make it better for me, but I think this helps a lot because I think their base keybinds are kind of weird. For the 6th tip, it's not spiking every ball. You have 3 touches each time. You don't always have to use it, but you can use 2 of those touches to set the ball up into good positions to get a better spike off. Usually in lower level lobbies, it serves, someone receives it, and then everyone on the team just jumps to spike it wherever it was received. If you're coordinated or trust your team, you can instead use the second touch to get the ball closer to the net, or set it to a teammate for an easier spike. Pretty much the point is, you have 3 touches. You should probably try to usually use all 3 of those touches to get the best possible spike. My 7th tip is actually just my top 3 spikers in order. 1 Sanu, 2 Bokuto, and then 3 Ushishima. Now, the reason I have Bokuto ahead of Ushishima is due to Bokuto's superior serves, but if that doesn't matter as much to you and you just want the best raw spiker, it instead would be 1 Sanu, 2 Ushishima, 3 Bokuto in that order. But me, I really just like to have a really strong serve and a really good serve, so that's why I put Bokuto at 2, but I just want to add a little bit of context. For my 8th tip, it's the 3 best non-spikers, and it's kind of close between all 3 of these. It's, you know, you can go any of them. 1 Kageyama, 2 Oigawa, and then 3 Yabu, in that order in my opinion. My 9th tip is the best way to get coins or rank up, because since it kind of goes hand in hand, and in my opinion that's 2's ranked. If you can end games quickly and are good enough to win most while also getting MVP, you'll grind out tons of yen, and that's primarily how I got to 140,000 without AFKing at all, which literally just 2's ranks. Like, I don't even have the emote you get for being in the AFK place. I haven't done it for maybe more than 5 minutes on accident when I went AFK one time. Other than that, it's literally just been 2's ranked, and I've gotten a ton. The next tip is an obvious one, but some people still don't know it, and it's pretty much just not bumping the ball like ever. The bumping mechanic in this game sucks, and the pro controls aren't that great and don't really do a good job at fixing bumping in this game. Honestly, typically when you bump, you're just going to send it perfectly to their side for a free set. But this isn't to say bumping shouldn't ever be done though. If it's like 3rd touch and you can't get a good spike, say the ball's like off like way out into your side and you just need to get it over to their side, then you could bump. If it's super far back, you could bump as well to kind of like as like a little bit of a set. You could do that as well, but typically you should almost never be bumping, and instead just using the set key instead. For my 11th tip is to check out my other guides like on spiking and serving, because I go in depth to teach you exactly how to master both those mechanics and plan and do other ones on like setting, blocking, playing Libero, all of that. So go make sure to check those out, because I do go really more into depth on each like mechanic to try to help you just master them. The 12th tip is a bit of an aim tip, mostly for serves, but if you shift lock and look at your mouse cursor, the ball will typically go just left of the cursor. You can use this to get more accurate serves and have a better idea of where the ball will land after you hit it, outside of just building up muscle memory, because it can kind of be hard. You always know it's going to go like wherever your character's facing, but knowing that it'll always go just left of where your cursor is at can help you get really accurate on your serves. And it can kind of be used on your spikes, even though spikes are more just like quick timing things, so you don't have as much time to think about your aiming. It's mostly used for serves, but it's a really good tip to know that it'll always go left of your mouse. And again, this is one that I know isn't really for mobile players, because I don't think this applies to mobile players. The 13th tip is if you want to reach the pro rank, the easiest mode to climb will be 2s. It's the most populated one, so wait times won't be a problem. And even outside of that, 6s and 4s can just be a mess, especially if you're playing with randoms or solo queuing or whatever. 6s and 4s are just a nightmare, and it feels like the games are just coin tosses because it's just a cluster. I feel like the game's speed is just more geared toward 2s and 3s rather than 6s and 4s, but any mode can work if you're full stacking. I just think 2s and 3s is much easier, especially 2s, to climb up to pro rank. It's what I did. I did it in 2s and 3s rather than 6s and 4s. The 14th tip is just on how to play better defense overall. Just like Libero, remember when the spiker jumps, they can't change directions now unless they have redirection jump. So a really good tip is never jump before the spiker does. Wait for them to jump, and then right when they do jump, place yourself in front of where they are facing to stop them almost every time. A big problem I see most people make is they're jumping kind of preemptively before the spikers jump. If a spiker sees you jump straight in front of them or diagonal to them, they can then literally just jump and look away from you and get a free spike through. So pretty much always make sure you're jumping after the spiker has jumped. Even if you're a little lower than what the spiker is, you should still be able to block the ball if you react. For the 15th and final tip, it's a really cheesy one and one that I don't personally use, but it's in the game, so I'm going to tell you it. What it is pretty much your avatar. You can change your avatar to wear different things to make it hard on opponents. Like for instance, I once played against a guy with a literal transparent skin on. I don't know how he did it. Or I've also played against other people that had just like these massive skins, so it was kind of hard to tell where they are facing. And this works only because the game lets you take accessories in and wear them during games. And staying on the topic of cheese, for serves, if you are the one doing the serving or have teammates that are serving, what you can do is stand in front of them or have your teammates stand in front of you when you're serving and jump when you do. That way the defenders can't see the direction that you're serving to pretty much at all. It can make serves really hard to react to. These are two kind of cheesy ones, but you know, those are 15 beginner tips and tricks that should improve your game almost instantly and make you overall better if you're a beginner. Anyways, thanks for watching. See ya.